check. Oh, okay, we're recording everything. Da. That looks good. Let's get the chat open on my phone. Yep, just gotta turn that sound off. Hello, everybody. Oh no, I want the chat in full screen on my phone. There we go, that's better. Hello. Hi. I'm trying something new today, where I'm filming the stream at this, like I'm recording the stream to my hard drive and my microphone separately as a separate file. And then the idea is I want to talk today about chords and a little bit of music theory for chords, but I want to then later edit the stream into like a 20-minute, no longer than 20-minute video, and then also upload that so that if you missed the stream, you don't have to watch 2 hours or more of rambling, and then in between there's little nuggets of knowledge, but like editing it concisely afterwards into a little thing. Hello there. Will I be in the video? Now you are, Surigaro. Well, you're in the stream. I don't know if I'll include this in the full video. Oh yes, Oberhausen Turbinenhalle is going to be sick. I'm super, super stoked for that show in October. Have a favorite chord? Yes. Why yes. Funny that you ask. It is, it's a sus2, but the 2 is an octave up, so it's basically like a sus9. Let me move over yonder. If we see the keyboard roll here, the piano roll here on the side. My favorite chord is, because it's strong. It's like a double power chord. It's these two together, and it's neither major nor minor, but it's very strong. And it can turn into minor, or it can turn into major. And just like transposing this chord, just moving this up and around, sounds really cool. Like, it's like the emo guitar chord. Yeah, very nice. You can like turn it into major or minor. Always sounds very sweet. Cool. Let me switch back for a second, wait for people to come in. Do you only play open position? I don't know what that means in English. I know some terms for music theory. I only know in German, not in English. Some tritone as today's challenge. Oh, a sus2 works great with tritone. Spock's Beard and Yes, and like progressive rock bands like that do that a lot, where they'll have like a he has like a interesting very happy kinda ish. But okay, so hello. To be able to turn this into a video later, properly, for my YouTube channel, I will have to sort of do the parts that'll be in the video where I'm like not talking directly to you, but more like talking to the video, to the viewer for the later video. So I'm just gonna do the little introduction, and then we're gonna go into it, and I'll hopefully be able to edit it together into a concise video that makes sense in the end. So let's begin. Do the reconnect supersauce. We're gonna do supersauce. I'll start with some basics with voicings and scales and shit, and then we will go into supersauce and layering and stuff. But yeah, main idea is to how voice chords nicely, and like how to think about them, sort of, in a way. It's difficult sometimes to explain these things. Okay, wait, I'm gonna put this in the whole introduction. Okay, so let's go. Hi, today we're going to talk about chords. I'm going to try something new today where I'm doing this as a live stream right now, but I'm also recording it and then I'm editing this into like a proper video that makes a little more sense, where all the information is a little more condensed. And I want to talk about chords and a little bit of music theory and chord voicings. And it's not that easy for me to talk about it sometimes because I learned a lot of this through piano lessons and just by playing the piano, and it kind of becomes second nature, where you don't really think about it, and then once someone asks you like, hey, how do you come up with your chords and melodies, I'm like, I don't know, because I don't like intellectualize it that much, but I've been trying. But during my time when I was teaching at Slam Academy, for example, I was trying to put how I write chords and how I think about them into words, and I want to share that with you today, so here we go. Intro done. Nice. Okay, so to start with, I've just made a little triangle wave with some delay and reverb here, so we have something that doesn't sound too annoying that we can write some chords with. And if you aren't super great at chords, if you haven't like had a crazy amount of piano lessons or guitar lessons or something, it is absolutely fine to use the help that Ableton gives you, for example, with the scale mode. And I'm actually just going to turn this on now as well, so we have, in this case, the scale of D minor highlighted here in beautiful purple. And if you feel like it, you can even hit the scale button, and now all the other notes that are not in D minor are gone. Using my laptop keyboard here. And usually your standard chord, so we have the root note here of D highlighted in very bright purple. So that's our home note for D minor. And usually if you think of a chord, like the first basic idea of a chord is just 3 notes together. And usually they are, in this highlighted scale mode, they're 1 note of the scale apart. So there's some space between them. This is a standard D minor chord. We've got our home, or D, and I'm just going to number these notes too. Sometimes when I talk about them, the home note, the D, will be 1, and then the next note in the scale will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, sorry, 6, 7. So this chord consists of a 1, 3, and 5. And now a minor, since this is a minor chord, a minor 7th chord starts to immediately make sense to you, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I played the wrong note again. 6, 7. Is just a minor chord with the 7th note in the scale on top. But if we made a chord progression, let's just use this most basic of basic blueprints of a chord to make a little chord progression. And I'm just gonna, oh yeah, nice thing too, if you've written one of these chords here and you select all of them, you can just shift them up and down and you'll hear all the other chords in this basic form in the scale. That one's a little weird. So it's kind of nice with this preview, you can kind of like kind of hear what you're doing. Okay, so this is something very, very basic. If we listen to this. Wait, let's make this 140, it's a little fast otherwise. Has a EDM-y feeling to it, but the chord voicings are kind of boring sounding. It's very basic. It's easy to play, of course, because the notes are very close together. This rhythm of the chords, by the way, because someone is asking in the stream, is... so this would be an 8th note. These lines in between are kind of hard to see with the highlight. They're pretty dark in general. I'm going to just turn that up real quick. Grid line intensity? Can we have you? Does that help? Yeah, that's a little easier to see now. So this would be an 8th note. This is a 16th note. This is an 8th note and a 16th note together, also called a dotted 8th note. And then I'm basically just keeping that as a dotted 8th note rhythm. It kind of gives you this like moving accent type vibe. With like 2 8th notes in the end here. It's like it's a little nicer than just using eighth notes for like. It's cool if it breaks it up like this, but yeah, I like using these moving accent patterns, because if you have just a 4 on the floor kick drum in the back, or as a demonstration here, the metronome, this immediately sounds a little more interesting. Because like in your brain, you're already hearing the you're already hearing like where the beat is, and then that rhythm is playing against the rhythm of these chords. But we're talking about chords and voicings here, not want to go too hard into rhythms. Dotted patterns, yes. So the easiest thing to make this a lot nicer is we kind of want to, these notes are very close together. Spreading them out a little bit will make the sound a lot more interesting. It's also called wide voicing, because right now all the notes are close together, it's narrow. So the most classic way of doing this is to take the third, 1, 3, 5, the third, the one in the middle of each of these chords, and maybe bringing it up an octave. So I'm just going to select all of these while holding shift. I'm just going to drag and select. You can also, while holding shift, select some to deselect them if they were already selected. And now if we bring those up an octave. Oh, there's one missing here. I messed up here. Nice, not too bad. We could even go crazier. This is super common, like the I throw my hands up in the air sometimes. Great example for use of this. This also even works with taking the 5, like the 5th out, the highest note of our previous narrow chord. If I do this again and I just take that one out, immediately feels like it could be the intro to a Charlie XCX song or something. You could even go crazier if you wanted to. What if the 5, the high note of our basic 3 notes chord, was an octave, 2 octaves above? So now they're really wide. I'm going to take the entire thing and bring it down an octave. Cool, that works too. That sounds a lot more interesting than what we had before. So that's method number 1. And now I'm going to show you another method to make chords more interesting. You can combine these and like interplay with them totally. I'm just going to do this one by one because then it's a little easier to understand. I'm going to go back to our original. And another thing that kind of also just comes naturally with playing piano is between chord changes, like between. That's kind of difficult to play on the piano because you have your hand in the position of this chord, like your thumb will be here, your middle finger will be here, pinky will be here, and then you kind of shift that pose, and especially jumping from here to. It's like a big jump for your hand. It's kind of difficult to play. So kind of naturally in a lot of songs, the voicings of the chords try to keep certain notes the same between chords. For example, what if I cannot explain why I'm like thinking to do this, but what if we kept the middle note here, the 3rd of the 1st chord, in our 2nd chord? So instead of that moving this note down here, it just stayed up there. Kind of like that. Like, still sounds good. Very easy to play on the piano. And what you're also kind of doing is now the 2nd chord, like this is a D minor chord. And then previously, this was a C major chord, but we've changed it from this to this. What is that called now? So remember before how I called this 1, 3, 5? So just thinking of like, now this is a C major chord. I'm gonna call these 1, 3, 5 as well. But now the 3 has moved up to the 4 position. So this is a sus4 chord. So it's a C chord because this is C with the 5th on top to make it a chord and not just a C note. And then sus5 is kind of called sus for suspended, because it leaves you in the suspension of waiting for it to come down to... It's kind of like has this pull, like that note wants to go. So that's why it's called sus. Same with if this was over here. You kind of want it to go to resolve into the C major chord, and in this case that's a sus2, because 1, 2, 5. We could even resolve this at some point, like on the last note here, on the last hit of that chord. And then maybe we can do it. Maybe we can do something here. I know this isn't helping to keep notes the same. This is actually doing the opposite, but this just makes this chord a little more interesting. So I've changed this is an F major chord up here with a F and then 1, 3, 5. I'm changing the 3 to a 2. Now this is a sus2 chord. It just kind of makes it a little more interesting rather than using the same 1, 3, 5 basic major and minor chord structure overall. So changing your basic minor chord up a little bit by moving the middle note, the minor third, down or up can make it a little more interesting. You don't need to just move it up or down. You could also just add in the 2 or the 4. Now it's kind of becoming a cluster chord. We're like adding in more notes. What if we added in all 5? So we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 together. Doesn't sound bad, but sounds a little bit like, it sounds a little full. It's kind of like saying everything at once. Might work as a pad in the background. Like if this was just held and then you had like some bass notes to this. There were like... This is very loud, I know. That might work, but sometimes adding too many notes to a chord might make it so full it sort of loses what it's trying to say emotionally, and it just kind of says everything at once, sort of how if you use too much pitch map and things like that on like a pentatonic scale, and it just sounds like the same kind of chord all the time. Kind of hard to explain. Oh, turn up Ableton slightly. Yes, I think that's... Oh, yeah. This might have been from last time. What about... Better? Good? Nice. Okay. Sweet. Okay, so far we've only looked at our basic 3-note chord and how we can make that more interesting. Oh, here would be another one. Instead of nah, 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 we could have these be a little more interesting by first do what we did before. Turn the second one into a sus4 chord. And then the third one into a sus2 chord. Now, this note is present in all 3 of these chords, which beautifully connects them. And we also got this one carrying over from the second to the third chord. And I immediately want to add like a... That's just a duplication of that C that's creating that sus2. Could probably, what if we move that up to like get the wide voicing again? Let's try the wide voicing actually on this as well. So we've changed those chords to be a little more interesting by having basic minor, sus4, sus2, and now let's do what I did earlier. Move this guy up for wide voicing. And that's cool. Nice. We've moved all the middle notes of the chords up an octave. And now this note staying the same up here kind of feels a little... I don't know if I like that. So after doing all these things, spicing up your chords by using sus2 or sus4, widening the voicing by moving notes up. I might then go and make some changes where I'm just like, I just feel like this sounds better. I just like, because now this high note here on top of these power chords almost feels like a lead melody. And I almost, now I'm like, okay, what do I want that to play? Maybe da, da, da. And if maybe I still now want to, we could add another note here. I just want to try this. Nice, because I still wanted like something to be part of these chords that where like a note stays the same like we had earlier. Or we could add that back in too. That sounds nice. So sort of by creating the wide voicing, the high note of the highest note in the chord almost turns into a melody of some sorts. It doesn't have to. You could record the melody yourselves, write a separate melody. But now we're entering the territory of chords with 4 notes. So that's the next level. Let's move to that. That's only 1 second. Complete 16 bars. We'll get there. We're in the phase of just the general concept of things you can do with chords. So next level, I teased it earlier. D minor. This is 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. 7th chord. Oh, we're missing. There we go. Nice and rich. It's got a little more going on. Slightly jazzy-ish. Kind of immediately, Nintendo uses that chord a lot in a lot of their games and a lot of the music. Neat. And with this, we can again do the sus2 or sus4 undertale. Or sus4. So nice variations, changes the flavor a little bit. Or where was the other one? And someone already said it, 11 chords when. Yes, you can stack these as much as you want. You could go and have a 7, 9. Now we're future bassy. And then 9, 11. Now we're reaching the point again where it sounds so full, it might lose some expressive character, because it's just like it's a lot of notes together. Like if we brought these down an octave, you see which notes we're all playing. We're playing all of these together, just spread out. Speaking of spread out, I'm gonna reduce this back to a 7, 9 chord. We can spread out stuff here too, of course. We could do the like putting the 3rd up an octave again, which I really like. Like bringing the 3rd up an octave always sounds nice. Or let's move the 5th up an octave again as well. So we're getting all these variations of chords, of the same chord now. It's still the same notes, they're just in different octaves. That also obviously works with our basic minor chord, and these are just called inversions. So this is our basic minor chord, but if we then take the bottom note, bring it up an octave, first inversion is what it's officially called, and then second inversion. And if we do it one more time, we're back at the same chord, just an octave up. And this can sometimes also be cool to, now I'm going back to, remember how I said if some notes stay the same between certain chords, it kind of connects them in a nice way. So what if I had something like, yes, this A is kind of staying the same, but this would kind of sound better with the second inversion of this first minor chord. So I'm gonna bring these two up. So even though, like, there aren't more notes staying the same now, but this isn't such big of a jump. Like, this is a pretty high jump, and like, these chords aren't very close together, but like this note's only going down here, and this note is only going down here. So these two chords, even though they're the same chords, this is still a D minor chord, we've only moved these two notes an octave. Now they're a lot closer together, and they sound a lot nicer, and like, they sound more like they're neighbors. Like, that's a long jump. Though I know in some cases, none of this is like, you have to do this. In some cases, it might actually sound really good. And there's actually a song, you might be able to recognize this. Like, that tune, who's this? Is that Robbie Williams? I wanna contact the limit. Actually sounds pretty good, but just again an option of how to make chords a little more interesting or change things up a little bit. Short break real quick from this. This was just like going at it and like covering the first half of the video that this is gonna turn into. By the way, people who have covered yep, sorry, my brain I just had a little brain fart because I'm reading the chat while talking. Drink water. I also have water here, but I have this Coke I need to finish. Pepsi. For people who have, can you apply white voicing in those chords as well? Yes, absolutely. For people who have only just joined, I'm trying to turn this live stream into a more concise video afterwards. So I am gonna edit this afterwards and cut it a little bit shorter and just keep the main information in there and then upload it as a proper video to the channel so that people, das Wasser, yeah, so that people who missed the live stream don't need to watch a long live stream with a lot of filler in between, but that this also turns into a proper video. Let me switch back. Let's try. So yeah, let's just try this out. Let's take that middle note. That sounds pretty neat as a white voicing. I kind of just want to... The change from... I was just trying to like see how would I continue this if I started with that. But the jump from the end here, from that to... is a little strange. So maybe I would start this with a different note here. And then maybe... Ah. Turning the highest note of the chords into kind of a melody again. Also, once you've, like, at any point with a chord progression, I feel like you can take out your lowest note and like just change it to a different bass progression. Even with a basic 3-note chord progression, I think it might work. But in this case, this is like na 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 1 5 3 7. But this might actually sound pretty nice with something more simple like. Now this chord's kind of boring, because we just have a D and an A here, so just 1 and 5. So this is kind of missing, it's kind of missing a minor third in the middle or something. It's very open. So instead, I'm just gonna shift this down 1, so now this is kind of an open 7th chord, like, it's just gonna be this. But in a wide voicing. Sounds super cool. And now this note also goes through from D minor chords, and then C major. The C just like stays for both of them, connecting them in a nice way again. We could also connect these two a little more if we wanted to by leaving this guy up here. But I kind of like the... Sounds kind of nice. Maybe if we just add it in. Bit of a friction here, obviously, because these two notes together, just by themselves, ow, but in the context of the chord, kind of works. The only thing is now, just in my brain, if I'm hearing this, it's like this chord is a lot more powerful now than the one right before it. And that could also be because this chord has 4 notes, and this chord has 3 notes. So it might help if this chord also had 4 notes. So what if we had just like we just had a D in here? I know it's doubling up the D from up here. Now they kind of sound equal in energy. Just little things I'm thinking as I'm writing this. Just throwing those out there. Not specifically techniques or anything, any specific like techniques I consciously think of as I'm doing this, but just wanted to note those. Love catching your live streams. Quick question, is there any possibility you can make a project breakdown of a track from your Stealing Fire album for Patreon in the future? Yes, absolutely. Good shout. Have that in the plans. Oh, hi, Ranks is here? Oh, yeah. Oh, hi, Frank. How are you doing? Also, hi, Basti. Kann ich mir deine Synapsen leihen? Alright, let's get rid of this for now. Let's do one more. Why not? So, let's do something that's not dotted 8th notes. And maybe let's change the key, just so it sounds a little different. Let's change to F minor. Where are we here? So I often like to start a chord progression not on the root note, not on like, if we're in F minor, starting a chord progression like on F works, happens many times, just often not my favorite, because like it's sort of what you expect at the start of like there's like a little build and then you're just like, okay, cool, it's a little cheesy, but for example, This Could Be Us is like, if This Could Be Us was in F minor, this could be us. Starts on. So actually, let's write the This Could Be Us chords. This could be us. This could be everything we want. So that's the very basic form of those chords. So I'm gonna just write those down. Bam. That's the magic of the scale option, by just having all the other notes blended out. Just have to make one chord and then shifting it up and down. I'm just hitting to do this so quick, by the way. I'm just selecting this and then Command D and then arrow up. Command D, arrow down, Command D, arrow down. Okay, this is looping not long enough. So this is the super bare bones version of This Could Be Us. And now let's spice it up. Let's see, how do I want to start? So first of all, to make this wider, alternatively, instead of getting the third of each chord and going up an octave, I'm just gonna take the root, the bass note of each chord, and bring it down an octave. Kind of does a similar effect, sounds nice. This could be us. So this is our 3, maybe change that to a 2, so we have a sus2. And maybe that can stay. This could be us. Nice. This D sharp, E flat. This E flat is staying throughout all of the 4 chords. Because, sounds nice. You'll find these notes too. Like if you are in F minor, just as a quick intermission, if you're in F minor, and I'm just playing like a root note down here, and now I'm just picking a note from the F minor scale up here, and I'm just gonna hold it for each bass note here. And you can like feel how it fits to most of these. And its relationship to that root note kind of changes. Like in this chord, we got an F and we got the third. This is the minor third here. If I go down with my bass note, now this has become the sus4. If I go down another note with my bass note, now this has become the 5th. And if I go even further down to what is this? So we had in this chord, our minor third is now the 7th. So finding like a note that changes its relationship to the root note in this way, it just sounds nice. It stays there, it connects the chords, but it gets a different emotion with each new chord that you're playing. So in this case, this is a sus2 in this one. In this, it's our 7th. 1, 2, 1, 3, 5, 7. In this, it's just an octave of the root note, and in this, it's a sus4. Whoops. 1, 3, 4. And this one up here is a 7. Oh. And now, last step, instead of having these chords just change with each bar to make it a little more interesting, pulling them early or late by, like, for example, a quarter note can make it a little more interesting. Like this. Whoops. What did I do? Oh, doesn't matter. You can still see everything. Ah, my friend. There we go. So in this case, I'm going to turn on the metronome. And I might add another note to the first and second chord, because the third and fourth both have 4 notes in them, but these first 2 only have 3. So suddenly these are a little louder. So maybe add the minor third. Maybe that can stay? Nah, that's kind of boring, because now it's just this octave. This kind of wants to... Remember what I said earlier with the sus4? It kind of ones, two. It's kind of dragging down to that major third in this case. The suspension. Where's it gonna go here? And just for fun, I'm gonna add in this one here. Audio's cutting out, someone said. Are we good? Oh god, the chat update here. So we've turned very boring chords into more interesting chords. And now, after we got this, we've widened the voicing, we've added fun sus4 and sus2 notes, we've added some resolve stuff here with the suspended notes, and that's sus2 turning into this. Or technically it's a sus4. sus4 resolving up to the 5th. Another G3 in the middle. For which chord? Interesting. I think this is okay. Very AG cookie. This is okay for now, because I also have to think of the video that I'm going to cut together out of this afterwards. I don't want to go too crazy. And now, last thing we could do is we could animate this in an interesting way. Obviously, we could make a synth preset that like does something interesting rhythmically to this that's not just sustained, or we could do what we did earlier with the dotted eighth notes. But maybe I want it half as fast, like. Da, 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 da. Whoops. Come here, my friends. Da, da, da. And now for that, we could, in the end, try to connect that last chord a little bit better to the first one. So right now, I've just like kind of chopped it up into this rhythm. We could do a nice transition chord here, sort of, to bring us back from this to this. So what I'm thinking here is, it's 3 notes, like it's one note between, these are like 1 note apart in the scale, so maybe we can have you run up to it. But what do the other notes do? Maybe something like this. Not the best, but you get the idea. That kind of works. So this kind of resolves nicely like this. And this note connects here. And then we got like an upwards run here. And kind of like a downwards type thing here. Nice. Pretty a lot better than what we had before, what we started with. Short break again, and I might have a look at the chat. I'm so worried that it's just going to be gibberish later in the video, and it's just going to be like way too much and way too chaotic, and I'll try my best. Tristram? Is Tristram here? People come through here, it's crazy. This makes me very happy. Do you have an opinion on horizontal harmony? Now I have to look that up. I've read that before. I was just watching a record of your previous stream, and there's this stream. Yay! Pitch automation could make it interesting. Yes. You seem really happy recording this because I love chords, and I'm also it's also when Still Kid said, yeah, I'd love to do another Still Kid set. Do you have an opinion on music? Fuck music. I hate music. Music has ruined society. Yeah, pitch slides are nice, like in Give In to You. I've been doing this a lot more now, even with little things like this, because obviously, if you've heard my earlier stuff and the chiptune stuff with the Unicorn Kid type leads, I love pitch bends. I love little slides, and just doing like little things here with MPE is kind of neat. So instead of automating your pitch bend to do the entire chord, I'm just playing with a pitch bend here on my keyboard. That's just now detuning the entire chord up or down. If we switch to MPE over here, we can just click on individual notes. And I think I have to turn off scale mode here. We can still have it highlighted, but for some reason, if scale is on, oh yeah, we don't get these lines. But now if you click on a note, you see that it has this little line, and we can do something like this. I kind of want to... I wanted to change that chord a little bit. And maybe this note could also bend from here. So I'm kind of like looking like, okay, the highest note of the chord goes from here to here. So I'm going to have you slide up as if you're coming up from here, as if you have some glide. And you can do like fun little edits to make it more glitchy or something, like little slide downs in certain places. Ew. And then bring it back up again on the next note. That could be cool. Like, yeah, you get the idea. I'm just playing around here. I don't know what this is gonna feel like. This was faster. I feel like hyper poppy stuff uses this a lot. So yeah, usually in Serum 2 this should work automatically. If you go over here to this MPE tab, that you have these little lines, these little pitch bend lines for each note. Especially for the first chord, it's actually kind of... We could have that come up from minus. Maybe have it on this note too. And then these are a little long. These could be faster. If you feel psychotic, you can even add in a vibrato with this. Oh, we could do something like this here. That was a little fast. I wish there were easier editing methods for this. Like, is there a way to just easily stretch this? I'm trying out all kinds of key combinations. No, because that was a little fast. But yeah, you get the idea. You can do some micromanagement with this. But it's a nice touch, because now you were able to give just that note in this entire chord some vibrato, instead of having like a vibrato macro in Serum that's just going to vibrate the entire chord. So that's a nice little move you can do there. I know FL has this too, right? I thought I saw Savant use something like this. Or was it just pitch bend on a lead where he did this? Also, if this doesn't work for when you do it, some synths support this, some synths don't. In Serum over at Global, there's this MPE enabled by default thing here. And sometimes you just gotta check that in the header of the instrument here in Ableton it says MPE, and then sometimes you even have to right-click the header here and make sure that, oh, you can't see that drop-down menu because it's out of frame. Here. Enable MPE mode. Also has to be on. Some Ableton synths, like Ableton stock things, just do it by default. I like a lot that the Simpler does it, for example. So you can, if you have a sample in here that, and you play a melody with it, you can use MPE in the MIDI clip here as well for fun things. Voice cutting out? No, not again. FL Studio does not have MPE. No. But yeah, so far so good. And now as a little bonus, this is nice. I'm just gonna copy that over here so I don't lose it. But I'm just gonna redo this real quick, and I'm gonna do one last version. But in this one, instead of playing like a dotted eighth note rhythm, we're gonna use arpeggiators to make it interesting. Not being very efficient here. I think you can stay almost throughout the whole thing. I might change this chord progression a little bit, but I'm just gonna do the This Could Be Us progression again. No. That's nice too. Cool. And now, alternatively, first of all, I'm gonna change this to a little bit of slightly bit more plucky. And there's some fun stuff you can do with arpeggiators by just using multiple arpeggiators in front of one synth. I'm gonna increase the polyphony a little bit so that we don't run out of notes. And we could do something fun where, let's get you over here. Yep, very simple arpeggiator to begin with. Let me try something real quick here with the retrigger. Why are you not on? Do I need you for something? I just wanted to try something out. Ignore what I just did. So we could have one arpeggiator just doing this. I'm gonna keep you on that low octave. And we can group this with Command G and then duplicate this MIDI chain and then have a second one that maybe is playing at half that tempo but goes up an octave. Interesting. It's like cool interplay between the two different ones. Or if you feel funky, you could also put a pitch device in front of one of these, like the slower one. I'm just gonna say the slower one's just gonna be up an octave before it goes into the arpeggiator. Cute. So fun little things. Sometimes you just gotta make sure that the notes are not perfectly connecting so that the arpeggiator definitely restarts. Can be cute sometimes, can be nice. Just for fun, let's add one more that's faster. And then this one, instead of up, goes down. And does the added octave, but also starts an octave higher. I feel like I just opened an R2R key generator. Cute. Much cute. Okay, cool. short break, and then I am just gonna make like a little old schooly virtual Riot drop thing with bass and chords, doing like a back and forth. And I'm not gonna write the chords yet. I'm just gonna have like a sub, and then we're gonna do super saw chords and layering that with a melody synth on top. And let's apply all the things I previously talked about and see how far we can get with that. No, this is not gonna happen in 10. I guess maybe it'll happen in 10 minutes on accident, because I'm just gonna like throw some stuff together real quick. But it's not gonna be the best drop in the world. I just need a canvas to do the chords on. Speaking of canvas, check out the new Paper Skies freaking release. Good shit. In Fowler, hello. Sound killer tutorials. Can't wait to book you for a paid vacation at Puerto Rico. Let's go. Could you talk a bit about how you make the other type of yoink with the throaty burp hiccup kinda harmonics? Throaty burp, like yeah? Like yoinks that go yeah? Is it that? I'm trying to think of throaty burp hiccup kind. Wellmonger yoinked. Yep. What's the Skrillex secret of the day? I don't know. I gotta think. I just remember them spontaneously sometimes. I'm gonna give me a minute. I just gotta run up and change the AC to cool a little bit, because it's getting warm in here. It's just me. Because streaming is exciting and then I get hot. Just give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. All right. I need a more sophisticated streaming setup where like I have like a pause screen or something, or like some background music for these moments. Hello guys, can we talk together for a minute? Just take off the hat. No. Also, since we're doing a little pause, I was in Japan to play a festival in Japan. And it was really cool, and the after party was super fun. And obviously, I was there for like a week, and we went to one of those arcades, like with the claw machines, and they're actually really awesome, because usually there's like people that work there, and then you can ask them, or sometimes if they see you lose a couple times in a row, they might open up the machine and put whatever you're trying to get into a favorable position, so it's a little easier to get. And after 5 attempts, I got Kirby on a cloud. And this girl, I have no idea who she is. I've never had an anime figurine, but I thought she looked cool. And for 5 attempts, I was like, yeah, I'll take that. All I know is her character name is Pua Pua Pupura. Not Miku. Hair's too short to be Miku. They didn't have Miku in the store, otherwise I would have gone to a Miku machine 100%. Next time I'm there, I'm gonna look for a Miku. Pua Pua Pupura, correct. Gesundheit. Looks haram. Well, at least there's no hot glue comments. I love the ear beanie. This is also from Tokyo. Not Puyo Puyo. Nope, sorry. Yeah. No rhythm in making. I went to Akihabara. Yeah, that's where those are from. She's going in the jar. No. Me exclamation mark asks, "Hast du eigentlich Hosen an?" Which translates to, are you even wearing pants? Yes. I'm wearing pants. Though that is a understandable question. Okay. Let's return to the Abletons. Let me think of how we're gonna do this. I'm just gonna do like a kind of classic Virtual Riot thing with a kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, that kind of thing. And then yeah, we're just gonna go for the basics today. We just need a canvas to do the actually that one, or sorry, now I'm already stuck at selecting snares. Yeah, why not? Or I'm just get a few. That one's not too bad either. Let's just make that pattern real quick. You've activated Ableton's trap card, the sample browser. Yeah, something like this. Let me change you to gate so that it only plays the snare for as long as the note is. Because I sometimes don't want it to overlap with the kick drum, and especially here, that last one, I wanted to like cut off there. Let's get some quick hats. And these two. Why not a little BHK hat? And you, and let's get an open. Yeah. Maybe as a layer for the snare. Why not? Yeah, let's just get all of these. Okay. Quick hi-hat pattern. Well. Yeah. You on the offs. That works. You guys should be swapped. Nice. Fun hats. EQ them real quick. This is going to be in the final video. This part is going to be cut very short because it's going to be about the chords and the like chord progression and stuff. This is the sidechain trigger. So far so good. Now here I'm just going to have a classic poop saw to do the root note that the chords will be over. So we're just going to get some white noise and some distortion. I know we could just use loops. But, oh god, trying to hit the distortion. Professionals have standards, to quote the sniper from Team Fortress 2. Yep. Cool. I thought the overdrive would sound nicer for this, but nope. Going back to the good old tube distortion. Let's EQ out some of those low mids. And now let me think. So I've got the F minor scale still highlighted. I'm gonna just leave it like that. Our low F0 is down here. And now I'm just gonna think, what am I gonna do? Oh, wow. Wow. I don't want to do the. I'm going. It's almost the exact. This could be us progression again. Maybe. Yeah, something like that. Cheesy, but nice. Okay, so far so good. We got that. Let's fill it in with some. This is where I might use some samples. Also, really quick, just to flavor things up with some additional hats, real quick. I've made these hype layers a long time ago for exactly occasions like this. Is anyone too loud in here? Nope. Cool. Makes it a little nicer. Oh boy, and now we need some fills and stuff, bass noises. Let's go into some of the classics here. Where's omp? I need that oomph. I need that oomph. Don't use me saying that in a track. And this needs to be... And let's speed this up a bit. You too. Sounds like poo-poo, because it needs definitely some EQing. And it might need a separate sub. I'm gonna ignore that for now, because I just want to make something quick. Oh, damn it, I can't not do a little bit of micromanagement here. I kind of want this to like stop at the end here. If that works. Oh, it needs to... No, I don't like it. Never mind. Just needed to try that out. I'm going through like old folders here. There's one of the absolute classics. We can use that in here. Yeah, why not? You. Yeah, I just need like a really short hit here it doesn't really need to be very melodic. That works. I know these are a little disjointed and all over the place right now, but we'll bring it in together with some compression later. So. This would be a moment for a little square. Let's just do that. Da da da. Oh, that's a classic. Was that in Heavy Bass Design 2 as well? Maybe we can have a hit here, like oop, and then baish. Oh, these were in Heavy Bass Design 1, okay. Maybe this little coop. That's cool. These might not be in key at all, but they don't really have tonality. I know the sub might be off. The serum stopped working one is this. But they might have been made in the same session. That's true. These are all pretty fun. This can have something better now because these sound. Let me just find. Let me find something better there. What are you here? Yeah. Nice. And now we can go. Just need like a little. Ooh, I like that one a lot. Also a old boy. Maybe that could be split up into two parts and be put here and here. A little weird. But the last one here is kind of nice. I'm just gonna speed one of these up again. Like, hey. It does the job. What about the second half here? Hey. Or if you were faster. A little messy. Or if it was the second half. Nah. That's good for now. Cool. Little, oh no, we're almost done. Actually, this needs a... That needs to reappear there. Oh, hi, Nebula. One more short hit like the... Or like that one. This was Rhythm Shot 8. Might be able to just use like a variation of that just to keep it sort of consistent. You're a little short. Kind of like you. What else do we have here? Oh, that's some classic sound. Ah. Yep, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Cool. That's just gonna add a little neat. Bring the drums up a little bit with the saturate. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, just give me 1 second. Just had to, VJ in your right tried to call me. I just had to tell her I'm streaming real quick. Yep, Carmen like last time. And let's add just some like background filler stuff real quick. Just something that like plays our root key in the background. Something like this. Though I think this would sound nicer an octave up. Whoops. With 8th note auto pen. Neat, that works. And then also maybe another one. That one is already a little more percussive, but maybe you get a auto pen in 16th notes. Cool. All right, I'm going back into video mode. So that like for the videos, it's going to be like a short little jump between making all of this and then to this moment here. All right, now we have a little canvas here where I have some root bass notes played with this saw bass, but there's no chords on top of it or melody. And then in between, I've just grabbed some old samples to do these growl fills. So right now this sounds like this. And this is our bass line. And I'm gonna just start making chords for this. And we're gonna... And I'm going to make a super saw real quick, so just we have something to work with. Just super basic for now. We can go back into the saw sound design after this. Oop, little bug there. And I'm just going to follow these bass notes and start with the super basic version of these chords. So right now... The bass line is... So the super basic chords of that would be... Let's do this again. So I'm just gonna write that down. Alright, that's not gonna sound great, but this is what we have with the super basic version. It's not wrong, but it isn't exciting. It could be cooler. So... First of all, since our bass here is already playing like the low note, the root note of these chords, I don't think we need it in here. So I'll get rid of that. Already sounds kind of nicer. I already like that a little more. Wait, I'm gonna just turn off this real quick so it's less distorting. And then we could do the thing again with the wide voicings. So let's take the third in each chord and bring it up an octave. And overall, this is a little high. I'm going to take the entire thing, bring it down an octave. That's already better. And now let's add in some extra notes. So right now we've only had... Let's look for some sus2s or sus4s. So a sus2 for this chord would be that note. So maybe let's bring that in. And can we keep it for the next one? Or make it a seventh, because this is our minor F minor chord. A seventh would be an octave down. And then let's keep that seventh, which for this chord is a sus2. So in this chord, in the F minor chord, this is the 7th. But now in the next chord, it turns into the sus2 note. So cool note that can stay and it changes its relationship. And maybe here's sus2 here as well. Already a lot nicer. And then I'm just gonna maybe add one more note to each of these chords. Like as a high note, it sometimes works if we just duplicate one of the lower ones, but I'm just gonna try around. That actually sounds kind of nice. I know that's the root note that the bass is playing, but kind of sounds good as like a high note. And then... And I'm almost like feeling like this is a melody on top right now. Now I kind of almost want I kind of want the melody to go da, 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 like down. So I'm about to get rid of these boys. Sorry. That kind of works. Cluster chord here. This is the root note that the bass is playing there. So we've got a 5th, we've got the 7th, then we've got the root again an octave up, and then a 2 or a 9. Very virtual righty chords. Only thing where I'm now a little fussy about is the jump from here to here. This is pretty narrow, this is pretty wide. Yeah, let's widen this up a little bit again maybe. Rodrigo Scheipel sagt, der Junge aus Mannheim is here. I love when they're German chords. What if we colored this bass? Nice. Already a lot cooler. I like that a lot. We could go even harder and add another note on top, like a harmony for this guy. What about this? Sometimes I just try stuff out, like just add in a note and see what it feels like in the different spots. Nah, this one's fine the way it is. This one needs... Whoops. Neat. Let's spice and let's flavor up the super saws a little bit. First of all, let's cut off a little bit of low end. And I'm just going to duplicate this serum and then make another one where maybe there's a layer of super saws an octave higher. But a little more detuned, but a little quieter. Much big. And then once I've got the main layer from serum, I'll usually go either into like Faceplant or some other synth where I've made either a similar preset, or go into Nexus and grab like a saw-ish layer there, but something that sounds a little different than just your standard super saw. Like sometimes Nexus, I'll just go lead, bright, and then pick something, and then hit the random button over here. Actually, that one was kind of interesting, even though it's not very... like... That might make a good layer. I'm gonna turn off delay and reverb. Quietly in the back. So the chords are better, but I'm not super happy with them yet. Yeah. I think these can be improved upon. Let me just mess around with this a little bit. Oh, that one's fine there. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at this, and I'm just gonna play a melody on top of this now. Nasco back again. Oh, hi Nasco. How you doing? Okay, now we've got our super saw chords. I know that last chord's a little high compared to the others. Maybe later we can fix that. I've made a nice little lead sound the other day that I want to try on top of this. As you can tell, this was made in Serum 1. Hence this this chaos to create a noisy LFO. And then sometimes I'll just take the MIDI of the chords and delete all the notes except the highest ones to Maybe bring you up an octave. To have something to start off. That feels kind of nice. Ich will ein Kind von dir. Das ist sehr lieb. How did you layer chords? It sounded sick. My classic move for super saws in Serum is just one saw wave LFO with maximum voices and detune. And a second oscillator that's just single saw, no polyphony, no unison, I mean, just in the center. And then there's a second serum here that does a high super saw an octave higher with more detune, a little quieter. I know I could have done that on the third oscillator in the first serum. And then we have a kind of weird sounding Nexus preset here that kind of just layers that, but I want to try some other ones here. Ooh. Sometimes the monophonic presets in here can be interesting too, because it'll just pick one note from the chord and kind of give that some extra power. Sometimes that can sound interesting, like. Okay, just played the same note for all those last chords, but sometimes that leads to happy accidents. This one might be okay in octave up. A little softer. And maybe our lead could do some interesting additional notes. Like some connecting notes between them. Kind of want to. And we could go into MPE mode again and give our lead some little glides, maybe some little pitch bendy things. Let's just try this out. Let's go review. That's a little high. We can even add. We could also add those in like this. If we really felt like it. I know this is very unnecessary. But cool, we've made chords. We've made the chords nicer. And we've made a chord progression on top of that bass root note, which was the goal. Yeah, it sounds very lunarish. I know it's like that same-ish pattern. Neat. We did a thing. Quick mastering, just to blow this up, because why not? Make it sound thick. I should turn down the volume here a little bit before making this loud. Woohoo! Cool, maybe. Little less low mids for the sides. A little more brightness, a little less harshness. And then for the mids. Kind of a similar treatment. I know these cuts are a little intense. Something like that. Bring in more freshness by parallel compressing the high end. Neat. This synth has a lot of wetness. I would probably make this more dry. And for the second time around, have like some variation here with the last two notes. Oh god. By itself is so screechy. Cool. For absolute, yes, sidechain is set up here. I did turn off the ring mount sidechain when we were working on the chord, so we wouldn't hear the ghost crunch that it adds, but now ring mount sidechain is back, and classic sidechain on top. What if we paralleled the top? That sounds actually really nice. It lets a lot of freshness through. Maybe copy this over to the high-end sidechain and just have that at 50%. Neat. Since this lead is now very, very distorted, very screechy sounding, I would maybe have a layer that's just a little more controlled. Can you be legato, please? Yeah, maybe something like this. Okay, cool. We did the thing. Yes, I do have a master preset. I show it and talk about it in detail in the video where I'm just like doing a drop mixdown. The video on drop mixdown. There's a section on mastering where I show this in detail. Go check that out. Neat. On the topic of melodic... I'll just save this real quick. Chord progression demo. What's the progression number-wise? 6, 6... no. 7, 7, 1, 1, 6, 6, 3, 3. If you have the tonic as 1. Or the root of F minor as 1. Cool. I wanted to also... This is basically what I wanted to record for the video in the end. I know we could do a more exotic progression, but this was just... I started this with explaining chords and voicings and sus2, sus4, 7th chords, wide voicings, narrow voicings, and then this was just like as a demo how to write a chord progression over a little basic demo and apply all those things. So that's what I wanted to then edit together into a video that's going to be on the main channel in a couple of days. And to end this off, I wanted to show you something I've been working on, which you might really enjoy. It doesn't have a build-up yet, as do many things. Oh, and maybe this one first, because this is just a cute little thing. Also, let me make sure everything else is still recording. Yes. This is just experimenting again with those random patches with all the note on random modulations. I just made a cute little... Cute. Yes, you can totally rewatch the stream, but I'll also edit together a short and concise video where I'm trying to keep it 20 minutes or something. But I made this. This is going to take a second to load. Where to get the beanie? You can probably find it on Amazon, but I found this in Tokyo in a store at the Magnet Shibuya. What if you reinstall Cubase and made a low resolution video again? Call it Season 1, Episode 11. I haven't looked at Cubase in so long, but I think it hasn't changed too drastically. Have you ever tried VCV Rec 2? Yes, actually, I did like it. I haven't spent too much time with it, but I was thinking of using the oscilloscope visualizer in it to, like, screen record for visuals, actually. Bleibt gesund, Bruder. Ach ja, und grüß Skrillex, lade euch auf eine Pfeife ein. Alles klar. Wenn wir mal beide in Deutschland sind. Sorry for the little German intermission. Yeah, okay, cool. Is there some saw stacking and chord progression in here too? Yeah, I think so. We can analyze this too. Let's see. We've got some super saws here doing... White voicing, sus2, resolving to the major, going back to sus2, na na na, sus4, and then sus4 and 7. Oh, sorry, can't see the screen. Sorry. He's talking Hitler-nese. Oh my god, you guys. Okay, this thing starts with this little chord progression. I know there's a delay, like latency between the visual and the audio because I have some high latency EQs running. But basically, chord progression. What are we in? D sharp minor. So it's like 1, 3, 7, 4, and here we got minor chord just with a wide voicing, and then sus2 resolving to a major third, back to sus2. Na na na. sus4, 1, 3, 4, 5, and then the last one, sus4, and that's a 7. This is gonna be loud. Yeah. Fun stuff. Kind of old schooly, but with modern mixdown and a lot of little fun things. Yeah, definitely want to finish this one. A lot of pitch map going on here. Sometimes not, sometimes yes. Especially the Vital boys here, like the... There's, as you can see, everything, whenever there's bass, there's always layers none of this is just like on its own. For example, just that first one consists of that lead, sub with buzz, vital, and then here we got like a vocal sample that's looped, that's very stereo wide, because this is all very mono except the noise on this sub. This lead is mono, this vital is mono, so I wanted like a wide version of that lead, but it's playing with a sub that you can't hear because it's being cut off, and it's crunching together with that vocal sample together to like distort it a little bit, and then all of that together creates the... This one's almost just on its own. There's like a little layer here, and there's pitch map on you. Not too extreme. It's just adding in a chord ever so slightly. But yeah, some of these have intense pitch map, like this boy wouldn't work otherwise. Almost sounds like a voice without pitch map. Hehe. This one's also a little intense. Got those notes on top of, with some vocal below it. Little bass hit here that had its sub removed. Little ARP in the back. Yeah. And some general background hype that's just... this on constant loop. Neat. Yeah, cute little thing. I've been sort of a little bit in the mood again for this. This is here's another idea in the similar vein. Yes, those are Kingdoms and Castles vocals, and the second time around for that fill, it's still kids vocals. It's just in like my vocal folder for when I need vocal chops. Hope is gone, because it sounds like the even when your hope is gone, move along, that's to me. This reminded me of that song. Yeah, feels like it should be Throwback 2, right? Oh, here, busty, bendy chords. There we go. MPE galore. This has no drums yet. Needs a fill. Chew. Chew. Yeah, just little idea. This sounds very Fox Stevenson-y. I've been doing this a lot actually, where I would take like I think this is a vocal sample. Yeah, and a sub and a lot of distortion, like it's just going through newfangled at like plus 11, so that together it just distorts and flutters-ish. Without distortion. With distortion. Yeah. Yeah, that's 170. Why not? Haven't done that in a while. My shredder melodic Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Last one. Add drum and bass drum loop. I feel like drum and bass loop would be a little too hectic for that. Maybe for the second drop. should be halftime first, I feel like. Here, again, what we talked about earlier, a note like that. Where is this? Just this. It just plays through the entire time while the bass is changing its relationship. Now it's like major, third, fifth. Now it's a seventh. I don't know what this turns into. This is old. This is very old. Pitch mapped donk. Why not? By the way, I can recommend if you use pitch map, go into the custom mode down here and then look at what you can, like, hold these points to listen to what's happening to your harmonics, so you can kind of sculpt it. Yeah. And if you feel like, oh, this is an octave too high, if you shift click it, it turns into octave down, octave up, I don't know, square, and back to circle. So if I... So you have like some additional control over these. Can you do this with NPrism? I have it. And I like it. But I feel like this gives me a little more control over each harmonic individually, sort of. You got full MIDI support. Oh, nice. Is there some sort of way to like pitch high things down an octave though, like this circle triangle method here? I know that's like super specific. Ooh, light version with linear phase. Let's go. Is there anything else fun? Oh, Basti, I saw you commented on the Natura Roni Koiste remix with cool stereo image. The vocalist from a Japanese J-pop group called Perfume. Did some fun stuff here, because I initially went and recorded just random chords with my Polybrute over here, and it's set to a stereo mode where every time you play a note, it's kind of randomly put into the stereo image. And the original recording is just, I think it's, oh yeah. Well, I did some stuff to it over here. But yeah, the original recording is just me playing some chords, not to a BPM or anything. But you can kind of hear how notes are like randomly left and right. So it's just that, and then that's in a slicer here, and then I just pitch it down -3, and then I'm playing slices. Yeah, the Polybrute has like a stereo knob somewhere in the upper right corner, where if you turn that up, it starts behaving like that. I realized the overall mixdown can have a little more. And then here I really just took a lot of different loops and stuff and just cut them together. To kind of follow the pattern of the chords. And this gate here reacts to the loudness of these chords. So only when these chords are playing does it let through audio from this stuff. Just to like have it a little more chopped and a little more following the sliced chords up there. Without it, it just like plays continuously. Like not as cool as. Grooves a lot more. This is just Ableton Gate. Beep, beep, beep. Okay, cool. That was the bonus content that's not going to be in the episode. But the stream's going to stay up, so you can rewatch it at any time. And I hope that, yep, this has been recording the entire time. I hope the files are going to be okay. This is going to be a great 2-hour file to edit. But usually when I record my tutorials, it's about that long too. So it's not going to be more work. Thank you all for watching and coming along for this experiment of live stream first and then editing it into a thing, into a full video. I hope you learned something today. I'm gonna drink some water and go about my day. On the weekend, I'm gonna be in San Francisco, back-to-back with Infect, by the way. Oh, thank you, Mackie. That's very nice of you. So yeah, weekend, San Francisco Wobble, and first ever back-to-back with Infect. That's going to be cool. The burp bass, please. Next time. Today was chords. All right. Everybody have a good time. See you again soon. Bye-bye.